On today's episode of Titus and Tate, March is officially here, Tate, and the madness has already washed over us in Madison, Wisconsin. A Tuesday top 10 tilt.
Oh, the tilt.
The top 10 tilt between Purdue and Wisconsin comes down to a Chucky Hepburn last-second shot. The miracle in Madison is what they're calling it.
Yes.
I don't know if anybody's calling it that, but I'm going to be the first.
After the melee.
Yes.
Then there was the miracle.
Then the miracle. Wisconsin is your Big Ten champion. We're going to talk about that tonight, I think.
Yeah.
I think we might touch on that.
Yeah, it's the big news of the day. But also, did he call bank? That's what a lot of people
Did Johnny Davis call bank? Did you see Johnny Davis's?
Johnny Davis said he didn't have to call bank because he got fouled.
Oh, is that what he said?
And he said the last shot was BS, by the way. So I think he has my vote for National Player of the Year.
Yeah.
He's an honest man.
I said I was waiting for like the cool factor with Johnny Davis, where like not to say he's not cool, but I was making the Obi Toppin versus Luka Garza comparison with Johnny Davis and Oscar Tshiebwe.
Mm-hmm.
I was waiting for Johnny to go between his legs. Maybe he didn't need to go between his legs. Maybe he needed to say that a bank shot for the win for the Big Ten championship was BS.
Yeah.
But who cares because we won anyway.
Exactly.
We're going to talk about that. We also have we officially have a Mickey Mouse situation in the Big East.
Yes.
State. Unfortunately, it kills me to say it.
You fought hard in the game, but it's still Mickey Mouse.
It's a Mickey Mouse situation because Villanova has now swept Providence.
Yes.
Villanova is
one more games in the Big East.
Yes, is going to win more games in the Big East, and yet Providence is your Big East champion.
Wait, what?
Ask us to make sense of it. We cannot, but we love Providence, so we're going to roll with it. We're going to have some fun. We're going to talk about Villanova beating Providence yet again. Michigan blew out Michigan State. That one flew under the radar a little bit because neither team is ranked, but it did happen. Successful dodge on Michigan's part because they
it goes to show dodging is the move.
Game one, they dodged it.
We scooped it.
Yep.
They dodged it.
Yep.
And now they won.
They ended up playing it, and Michigan kicked Michigan State's ass. Arizona is back. Kansas is very much not. TCU beat Kansas tonight, and Ohio State is dead. There's a lot going on in college basketball.
Also, Carolina not on the bubble.
There you
Fully
go.
in, finally.
There you go.
Leave us alone.
God, I'm so excited. March is officially here. We're going to get to all that, but first.
Woody Durham.
All right. Before we talk about Wisconsin State, I want to do like a big picture view of where college basketball is at because it dawned on me. This was before Ohio State lost to Nebraska at home, and I decided that I hate everything, and life is pain, and it's very sad. And and all of a sudden I have people asking me questions about Chris Holtman that I frankly don't want to address or answer or respond to. And
you were me a week ago.
Yeah, it really is. It's karma because I was sitting in this chair just trolling you.
Yes.
And boy, have the tables turned here. But before Ohio State ruined everything, I found myself thinking this morning as we were getting ready to come in and do a show. I was still riding the high from Saturday. I was feeling so good, and it dawned on me that there's something in the air, Tate. This is I think it was that the calendar turned to March, and I watched all the college basketball media people try to out caps lock each other on the internet.
Yes.
The just announcing that it's March. Obviously, Rothstein has cornered this is March, but then
have you seen that the Athletic now is saying it is March?
It is March.
Yes. How many times can we make a statement?
OMG, March is here. However you say it.
Yes.
All that matters is you're saying it in all caps.
Yes.
Because everyone is so excited, and it kind of like having the top 6 teams lose, the 7 of the top 10, as we talked about on Saturday, history, rolling into March. I stopped and I paused and I reflected on where we're at, where we've come, all that sort of stuff, Tate. And I realized this tournament is going to be just absolutely bonkers. As we've been talking about it for a while, but it really is sinking in how insane this is going to be. That it's wide open. This is our first real tournament in 3 years, if you think about it like that.
Yeah.
Since
Minnesota.
Yeah.
Since Virginia.
Our first
since God's
real,
plan.
yes, not Mickey Mouse tournament we've had in 3 years.
I mean, fingers crossed. It still could be Mickey Mouse.
The Final Four is in New Orleans. I'm a baseball fan. I know you're a baseball fan too, but I think weirdly baseball not figuring their shit out is actually great for college basketball.
It's a W for college basketball.
It's a huge W for college basketball.
No distractions.
Yeah. Right now it's spring training / March Madness season, and with no spring training,
only one.
Everyone's all in on March Madness.
Yeah.
And then you start sprinkling in Wisconsin, what's happening with Wisconsin, where they're lucky but also good, and Johnny Davis is what's happening in Madison is a ton of fun. What's happening in Providence is a ton of fun. It's Coach K's final year. I just like
That's so much fun. We're having so much fun with that.
I realized that it's been a long road to get here. We've been through, there's been a lot of ups and downs. But knock on wood as we keep saying, but like, oh my God, it feels like we've been edging, just waiting for this moment, Tate, and it's coming, and it's I could not be more excited. And then Ohio State lost at home to Nebraska, and I was like, screw all this, I'm done. But no, right? Like what I'm saying is, tell your friends. If you're listening to the show and you have some friends that used to love college basketball, and they're like, it was better back in the day. It was better when I was a sophomore in high school. College basketball was at its best,
and you're
like,
not
it's
wrong.
Not as good as it used to be. All that sort of stuff.
But maybe, just maybe,
bring them back. Bring them back, because I promise you, if you don't think that this NCAA tournament is bonkers, email me personally, and I will give you a refund on all the podcasts you've listened to that we've done. That is my guarantee. Mm-hmm. It'll be bonkers. It'll be worth your time. It is awesome, and one of the reasons it's awesome is because of what we saw in Madison tonight, Tate. Like, that was just a little taste of a top 10 tilt, a Tuesday top 10 tilt. Between Wisconsin and Purdue. This is a game that if Purdue wins, it's a three-way tie, I believe, in the Big Ten.
Yes,
with Illinois, Wisconsin, and Purdue,
which is classic Big Ten. You guys love to share conference regular seasons. You guys love to hang a bunch of banners.
Yes. Everybody gets
claims.
A banner.
Yes. So this was good. I thought that was good that Wisconsin kind of set the tone. And also, as we were just mentioning before, to go from the melee in Madison, which was such a seminal point in the season, when we look back, a lot of fans that maybe aren't as clued in will say, oh, yeah, I remember when that thing happened, the Juwan Howard situation. Yeah. To go from the melee in Madison to the miracle, the joy in Madison, as you called it, I just think that's a nice moment because, like, they were not in the wrong in that situation, and it feels like the basketball gods, it all comes back.
The basketball gods are fully behind the Wisconsin Badgers, as it turns out.
And Providence. And
Providence.
So the three luckiest teams in America right there, I think we can lock those in. Providence, Wisconsin, and Duke.
Wisconsin, there's this stat coming out of this game that Wisconsin is 12-1 this season in games decided by 5 points or fewer.
Yes.
You know their one loss? Mm-hmm. Do you know who their one loss is?
No.
Providence. I'm not even kidding. I'm not to tell the whole story about both these teams.
Yes, that's.
This was a game that going in, Johnny Davis.
I forgot they even played.
Yeah, they played without Johnny Davis. So Wisconsin fans are quick to point that out. Providence fans are quick to point out that they won.
We won. We played who showed up.
Yeah. Coming into this game, though, Johnny Davis had 37 and Mackey in the first game that these teams met. Wisconsin got the big, at the time, like, it was kind of shocking, if I remember my feeling. We were doing a show. That night. Yes. The game was on, and we just kept joking, like, Purdue's going to win. Like, I'm sure Purdue will figure it out. And then we get done with the show, and we check the score. We're like, what? Johnny Davis
was over.
Did what?
Yeah.
Johnny Davis. So I guess we were expecting more of the same. It was certainly Johnny Davis versus Jaden Ivey is the matchup to watch, and those are the guys that are All-American candidates.
It kind of was in the second half.
It became that, but for a long stretch, both those guys were missing. It had an interesting feel, and then they came on late. It became like Jaden Ivey was hitting just huge shot after huge shot. Great Big Ten basketball game, Tate, and I think if you're a Wisconsin fan, it's a familiar position of what we've talked about with Providence, is that Wisconsin is quote unquote lucky. They win these close games. They bank into critical dagger shots. There's really no way around, like, the statistical anomalies that are happening when you're, like, in these close games at Wisconsin. The fact that they've played 13 games decided by 5 points or fewer, and
kind of says something about this.
Yes, it says something. But at the same time, they keep winning, and I would say that Wisconsin, like, I don't know. I'm trying to, like, think through where I land on this, and I think, like, one thing that would have really driven home that Wisconsin is not lucky, and one thing that Jim Delaney would have done if he was commissioner, is he would have put Bo Borowski on this game, made Wisconsin earn it, and I think that part I didn't love. The refs were, like, very important in this game. The refs were mucking it up. The refs were doing their thing, but I needed to see, like, if we turn on the television and Bo Borowski is calling this game, and Wisconsin still wins it, that puts to bed forever whether they're lucky or not, because they went out and earned it. I don't know. I guess they still earned it anyway, right?
They still earned it, but at the end of the day, I think you're right. And I asked you this while we were watching this game: who has the best chance to win a title in the Big Ten now, as we look at the landscape? Because
it's Wisconsin, dude. It's Wisconsin.
I hope that's not. I mean, is that really that?
It's so okay.
Is that where we are?
Michigan State is out. Michigan,
Yes,
like I don't care that
agreed.
Michigan State beat Purdue. Which, by the way, you want to talk about luck and the flip side to Wisconsin's luck is Purdue. I mean, Purdue, like, I'm not going to cry for them.
Lost 6 games, but 4 of them.
Yeah, I'm not going to cry because they don't, they bring it upon themselves with like how they play sometimes. But I mean, we got to point out that there's the Ron Harper Euro step. There's the Rob Finney shot at the buzzer or near the buzzer. It wasn't at the buzzer. It was almost
close enough.
The buzzer. Tyson Walker hits the shot on Saturday.
Yeah,
for Michigan State.
And then tonight. Hepburn.
But Michigan State, even though they beat Purdue, they were absolutely smacked by Michigan. I haven't believed in Michigan State for like a month. So the Michigan State's not winning the national championship. They're out. Ohio State, very much out. Very, very much out.
Yeah, they're out.
I don't even want to talk about it. I'm just sad. That's where like I had people were hitting me up today, like what's going on? How like status report, give us a vibe check, all that. I'm just sad. I'm not even mad. I'm legitimately not mad. I am sad. I have reached that part of the.
I knew that it was you were in a bad cycle when you were just like venting things out. You know what I mean? Like you were on your phone, which I like I said, I was there last week. So you just start saying things. You're like, we gotta clean this up. We gotta do this. We gotta. What's going on with Malachi? What's going on with
Even when we won in Illinois, like my reaction's not like huge win on the road against a team that could go to the Final Four. My reaction was like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm just conditioned to be that way. And then tonight, I mean, it wasn't just you lose to Nebraska. You lose to Maryland by 15. Ohio State, Tate, going into Sunday night. Or Sunday
I will give them the pass. The 02 Maryland national title team was there. Steve Blake in the building. Juan Dixon in the building. Lonnie Baxter in the building. So it was a lot of good mojo. So I gave them a pass for the Maryland game. I did. I personally
I did not, because going into that game
until tonight, and now I have gone back and taken said pass away.
Going into that game, Ohio State was still alive for the Big Ten title.
That's the last thing that you said to me on the air.
If Ohio State wins out, they are not like, granted, Wisconsin beating Purdue tonight would have made it all inconsequential.
Yeah.
But at the time, you're like, you're still alive for the Big Ten title, and you lose by 15 at Maryland, and then you lose to Nebraska. I'm dead. So Ohio State's out. Michigan State's out.
Michigan's out.
Michigan's out because Michigan is like barely in.
They're kind of hot
right
now.
Place. Yeah,
different team with Martelli. We can talk about that.
We'll talk about that in a second. But they're out. They're like a bubble team.
Yeah.
No one's really seriously taking them seriously as a title threat. So that leaves.
So there are 3 teams.
Yeah, it's Wisconsin, Illinois, and Purdue. Yeah. If Purdue doesn't play defense, I mean, I'm a broken record with that, but like it is what it is. Like you're not winning 6 games. That team's not winning 6 games in a row. They're not. They are simply not winning 6. Purdue can make a Final Four. I think that's their ceiling. I think if you're a Purdue fan, you're like, just get me to the Final Four.
We'll figure out the rest.
We'll gladly lose by 12 to Arizona or Gonzaga or whatever it is, but like just get us there. That's all we need. We just want to like rub it in Indiana fans' faces that we're at the Final Four more recently than they are. That's all they really need. Purdue's out, so it's Illinois and Wisconsin. I know you're gonna still ride with Illinois, right?
Not officially on the record, no, but wink, wink. I still like Illinois. I think Illinois has all the pieces where I'm like, I really like this guard play. I think Trent Frazier is kind of like the perfect guard. We talked about how there aren't really the one guard that you point to and say this is the guy, whether it's a Nimhard or Tiger Campbell. I mean, Trent Frazier's in that group, and Curbelo if he can get healthy and get it together. But it's still a lot of if and wins and conditional statements, and that is my problem with everyone in the Big Ten. The Purdue thing, I want to believe in Purdue. But I watch Ivy in crunch time, and I watch some of these things happen and play out, and I say, I cannot trust that team. In good faith.
Here's my problem with Illinois, too, is it's a tie game. They're down by 1. There's 15 seconds left. Brad Underwood calls timeout. And whoever's calling the game, say it's Jason Benetti and Robbie Hummel, because they seem to call every Illinois game. They won't be in the NCAA tournament, I don't think, because I don't know. If there's one guy that can figure it out, though, it's probably Hummel. Hummel will figure out a way to be on every network. But Benetti then turns to Hummel and goes, what are we doing here? Who are we getting the ball to? And Hummel's going to say Kofi Coburn. Because he's their best player. He's your beast. He's your guy that, like, I mean, there are worlds where they're not drawing up the final play for Kofi, but, like, you got to get Kofi a touch is what's being said. I don't love that. I don't love that the guy you're getting a touch to is your big man down low.
Yeah, cut that out.
I don't like that.
In that situation,
that's where Illinois.
In that situation, Kofi's a decoy, Trent's a decoy, and Plummer's
taking the shot. Yeah,
100%.
You're probably right.
And that's what I'm hoping. I'm hoping that Illinois gets to that point where they they are working under that, like, hey, we know they're trying to take away Kofi. We know they expect Curbelo Trent to be that guy, but we have Plummer. I mean, we have this other guy, this other guard who can really, I mean, he could drop 30 points on any given night. So I still believe in Purdue in that sense, but Johnny Davis is clearly going to be in the conversation, could already be the National Player of the Year. So it's hard to say Wisconsin with the National Player of the Year, with Brad Davison, who's played 30 years of college basketball, has all that experience, that they're not going to be a tough team in March. But if Wisconsin loses in the first round, it's not going to shock me either. You know what I mean? That's my problem with saying like that our title hopes are riding on the tails of Wisconsin. Yeah. I could easily see them losing in the first round, and then I look and I say, what is going on? The Big Ten has to get over this title curse.
Having Johnny Davis, though, makes me a believer in Wisconsin.
Exactly.
It does.
The National Player of the Year, that helps. Yes,
that is
obviously
the big difference between even Wisconsin and Providence when you talk about, like, the two lucky teams that keep finding ways to win and all that. Like,
talk about a team that who's going to take the shot.
I think Wisconsin's model is more replicable or, like, more, moving forward. I trust it more simply because of Johnny Davis. I think Providence has like a deeper team and I don't know, better, but like they more guys can step up. But Wisconsin's getting there for me because like for a long time I thought Wisconsin was basically Johnny Davis, Brad Davison, and then like sometimes Wall would step up or Chucky Hepburn or whatever. But Wall and Hepburn have been playing well. Crowd didn't do much tonight, but he's had some good games. I don't know. I'm starting to believe more in like the supporting cast around Johnny Davis. Yeah. Certainly Chucky Hepburn's been awesome. Wall's been really good though. Like ever since January, he's been like
had 19
he's been stepping up. Yeah,
Hepburn had 17.
So yeah, I could see what, but to the larger point, the Big Ten screwed.
Yeah, and when we went into the year, it felt like it could be a destiny Big Ten type season, but maybe that plays out in their favor because last year it felt like if the Big Ten doesn't win, it's a colossal failure or whatever we want to say. And here we are.
Yeah. What about? Should we talk about Villanova Providence?
Yeah,
we keep talking about Wisconsin and Providence. This game, like, it was a good game. It was an entertaining game. It comes down to the end of a lot of fouling on Villanova's part, and Providence is trying to claw their way back in it because that's what Providence does. It looked like in the first half Villanova was going to run away, but anybody who's watched Providence all year was like, nah, they'll figure it out. They're not dead yet.
It was a clinical first half for Villanova, though.
It was.
Like,
yeah.
As I was watching that first half, I was saying to myself, now, if this Villanova team shows up,
that's the best they've looked all year.
Yeah,
that first half.
Because
they actually like shared the ball. Mm-hmm. That's really all.
They played Villanova basketball.
All I need to know about how much I believe in Villanova, I'll just check a box score and see how many assists they had that night. And if it's more than 15, I'm like, all right, I can talk myself into this team. But usually it's not.
Yeah.
Usually it's Gillespie backing his ass down and
only 11 assists in this game. 8 were in the first half.
Yeah. See, eight assists. I was like, man, they're really sharing it. This is fun. They're driving and kicking and hitting threes. But ultimately what happened in this Providence Villanova rematch is pretty much exactly what I expected to happen, which is that Villanova would win, Providence would make it close. I came away from this game learning nothing about either team. I feel the exact same way about both teams as I did going in. I will say I am slowly coming around to Villanova to believing that Villanova, I don't think they can win a national championship.
But they could do a Final Four.
Yeah. I'm coming around to because I don't know, man. Their backcourt, you just start like thinking how important backcourts are in the tournament. And they probably have the best backcourt. I'm fine with saying that. Mm-hmm. Like I've gone on and on about how I don't love their style of play this year, but they do have the best backcourt probably in the country with Moore and Gillespie, which has to matter, and it's probably going to matter in the NCAA tournament.
And I think they found, like, whenever they need to get inside, they need to touch the paint, they can get Dixon an easy buck. You know what I mean? Like, Slater can slash, like, because it did feel a little bit sometimes where they're just kind of throwing the ball around the perimeter. And obviously, that's kind of what Villanova basketball is at times, but they can get stuck in that. Or they're just in what you hate, which is like Colin Gillespie.
Volleyball.
Yeah, just trying to back guys down and get a shot. And that's not fun to watch either. So it's not aesthetically pleasing to watch this Villanova team, which is totally different from the past because they were always so fun to watch.
I blame Jalen Brunson. All roads lead back to Jalen Brunson. Jalen Brunson showed Colin Gillespie how to post up as a point guard.
Yes.
And Colin was like, I'll do
Colin's
that.
watching the Mavericks. He's like, that's my guy. That's what I do.
But can we talk about the Mickey Mouse status of the Big East?
Yes.
I mean, this is I don't know, man. I'm Team Providence. I enjoy all season I've enjoyed watching Providence. The Providence fans have been a ton of fun. I will root for Providence in every game in the NCAA tournament that they're not playing, teams that I actually like. But there's no way around this. The Providence is currently 14-3 in the Big East, Tate. Villanova's 15-4. They have one more game at Butler. So Providence is done. Providence's schedule is done. They're getting ready for the Big East tournament in New York. Villanova plays Butler on Saturday. If they win that game, they will be 16-4 in Big East play. Providence is 14-3. You're asking why the difference in games played? Omicron.
Yes.
Remember that?
Mm-hmm.
So the Villanova will have won 2 more games than Providence. And I found this out tonight because I crunched the numbers myself because people were tiptoeing around it, and they kept saying how Providence won the Big East, but Villanova is out to, and I was like, Villanova can't get a share of this thing, and no one ever said they could get a share. So then I realized it's based off of the winning percentage.
Yes.
And then I crunched the numbers, and I realized if Villanova wins and goes 16-4, which they probably will at Butler, they're still Providence is still going to win outright.
Yes.
Villanova is going to win 2 more games in the Big East
by the numbers,
and the two of those games that are the difference are the 2 games that they beat Providence, and Providence is still going to be the Big East champions. That's Mickey Mouse. There's no way around it. And Providence fans, you have to know it. Hang the banner, celebrate it. But at the same time, there's never been more pressure than Providence has to win the Big East tournament now. Mm-hmm. If Providence wins the Big East tournament, the asterisk gets removed, right?
Yeah.
Would you say that?
I think so.
But boy, I didn't realize it was that bad. I thought the waters were a little murkier than that. But if Villanova is going to win 2 more games than Providence, and the 2 games are that they beat Providence, it
makes no sense. And this goes back to the numbers game that we were talking about last week with the Bubble Boys. You know what I mean? This has Bubble Boy written all over it. That we're doing the math here to decide who the actual winner is. But the eye test, as we all know, says I say that Villanova beat you 2 times. They are, but weirdly, and have 1 more game.
Weirdly, it's better for the league if Providence wins. So I think Jay Wright's probably like, yeah, they can have it.
Yeah.
Whatever, they can have it.
Well, the best part about this is that Providence is already celebrated. So
they can't uncelebrate.
You can't take that away.
You can't uncelebrate.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's why it's kind of like, in football when you don't want them to have a review and you just hike the ball real fast. That's pretty much what Providence did. You know what I mean? They were just like, get the snap off. We'll deal with all the repercussions later. Yes, we weren't lined up, but hey, 10-second rule, baby. 12 seconds on the clock. We're good.
Jay Wright's trying to throw a late challenge flag, but it's too late.
It's too late. It's too late. They're the champs.
Oh man. What else happened tonight? Michigan blew out Michigan State. That certainly caught my attention, even though both of these teams are kind of out of the national spotlight at this point, I would say, but still, it caught our attention because, as we said at the top, this was the game that we broke. That was not going to be played the first time around. We scooped it. We thought at the time that maybe it wouldn't be replayed, that Michigan State would never actually go to Ann Arbor this season.
Yeah. We thought it was a dodge instead of a duck.
We found a way they found a way to make it happen, and unceremoniously, as much as Michigan State was sticking their chest out at the time and saying they're ducking or they're dodging, they're cowards, they don't want to play us, they're scared of us. And then they meet in East Lansing, and I believe Michigan State beat the hell out of Michigan in game 1. Boy, this did not go the way Michigan State fans thought it was going to go.
And what was the difference, right? I mean, that is why. Mm-hmm. And after the game, Hunter Dickinson tweeted, obviously there's always the Michigan State fans that love to say, January, February, Izzo.
Yes.
That's what we do. And then Hunter Dickinson puts it out to the world, January, February, and a lot of people, sitting here at home.
Where's he going with it?
Where's he going with this?
Where's he going?
Who's he going to say? He says Martelli.
Mm-hmm.
And Michigan has been a different team since Juwan Howard swipes, and Martelli takes over.
Yeah.
Because Michigan's swiping right on Martelli, and they're saying, we like this guy. We like this new coach that we have in here. And Martelli's coaching the way that he's always coached. He said, this is how I do things. This is my team. These are my philosophies. And when Juwan comes back, he's going to step back in, and it's going to be his team again. But it looks pretty good when it's Phil Martelli's team, right?
Yeah.
Like, if you're a Michigan fan, you have to be sitting at home and saying, what's going on here? Can we keep more of that?
If Phil Martelli, the Michigan's going to make the NCAA tournament, I think.
I think so.
I think they're probably in. It depends on who their first.
Indiana, Michigan plays.
Yeah, I saw I don't know what the bracket looks like now, but I saw earlier tonight the if it ended today, bracket for the Big Ten was Michigan versus Indiana.
I like
the
that
8-9 game.
Yeah.
Which sort of feels like loser is out, winner might be in situation. But I feel like Michigan is head and shoulders above Indiana in terms of the NCAA tournament bubble picture. You're the bubble expert, though.
No, I'm actually not. I'm actually done with the bubble. Clearly,
with the way Ohio State's been playing lately, I think I might have to.
Yeah, we might
have to switch roles. I might have to read up on the bubble a little bit.
Oh man, you don't want to do that.
So I think Michigan's going to be in though, and if in fact they are, what if Michigan goes on a little bit of a miracle run here, Tate?
Yeah.
Does that make the offseason interesting?
Martelli coaches.
Does that make an offseason interesting in Ann Arbor?
Well, and then I think Jim brought this up. I can't remember what comedian you were talking about, but they were saying that there should be an acting president. You know what I mean? And Martelli is the acting head coach right now. That's like his title, Michigan acting head coach. So maybe we bring Jawan back, right? And then he becomes the acting head coach. And then Phil Martelli can be the practicing head coach.
Whoa.
And then he can practice and actually coach these kids and get them to be better players. And then Juwan Howard can be the
dual head coaches.
Dual head coach.
This feels like Jerry and George splitting up their dating duties with their girlfriends.
Yes. What am I good at? I'll handle that.
Yes.
That is what they need to do.
It's not the worst idea.
Acting head coach, practicing head coach.
Practicing head coach. I like it.
Juwan Howard, great figurehead.
I like it.
Great for the Fab Five. Phil Martelli, great basketball coach.
What else is there? What else? Arizona blew out USC. Is that game still going on?
No, it's final. 91-71.
What's the final?
91-71. 20 points.
Arizona is very much back.
Great for the margin.
There is I see people coming around to there's no getting around Arizona laying a stinker in Colorado. Like, we're not trying to ignore that. Yeah. But the way you reframe it is talking about ceilings and talking about when they bring their A game and all that sort of stuff. And my God, when Arizona played like they did tonight, which it's not just that they're beating USC's ass, it's how they're doing it. It's like Dalen Terry dunking every single time down the floor.
Yeah, and saying, watch your head. Yeah.
Per Carissa just have his swag turned all the way up. And oh my God, they're so fun. Arizona's the most fun team in the country. They are. I've said it a million times. I'm going to keep saying it.
And it's also, I mean, we should talk about the 1 seeds at some point, but I mean, they are one of the 1 seeds that you actually believe in.
Well, let's do this. Let's do our King of the Mountain presented by Coors Light. Coors Light is the one I choose when I need to unwind. So when you want to hit reset, reach for the beer that's made to chill. Get Coors Light and the new look delivered straight to your door with Drizzly or Instacart by going to CoorsLight.com/TNT. Please celebrate responsibly. Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado. Let's do King of the Mountain. Coors Light King of the Mountain, and then we can do some 1-2 discussions and have some fun with some other stuff. You want to go first?
Yeah, I'll go first. Mine's easy. I mean, when I look at the landscape,
I know where you're going. Every time you start smiling, I think it can only be one of 2 people. It's only going to be one of 2 people.
When I look at the King of the Mountain and I look at college basketball, I say to myself, you can't spell king without K. And it all goes back to Coach K, the greatest college basketball coach of all time. And that's coming from the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette, because that's the headline of their story that they wrote before his game today at Pittsburgh.
They said he's the greatest coach
greatest
of all time.
College basketball coach of all time.
Okay.
Paul Zeiss, who wrote the article. Ticket prices, I don't know if you've seen this. I don't know if you've heard about this. Soaring for Coach K's last game. I think the cheapest ticket now is $2,000, North Carolina.
Oh, okay.
The North.
Is that like a rivalry?
This should be ranked North Carolina Tar Heels for the ACC regular season on Saturday. But Coach K is the king of the mountain because, one, look at the ticket prices. Look how much people are willing to pay to see this man in his last game. And also, it goes back to who has built this landscape of college basketball, who is really the figurehead of it all. And it's only one man, and it is Coach K. And Saturday, his final goodbye. I know I'll be crying as I watch and reflect.
Because Carolina's down 40.
Yeah, exactly. I think the line's 39.5.
Michael Savarino's out there crossing up Caleb Love. And
dude, Savarino's got a little cross game. I'm like, is this guy watching Ja Morant in his free time? What's going on here?
Michael literally Ja Morant, Savarino. Dunking on Carolina.
King of the Mountain, Coach K, out of respect and out of honor. And I think the move, and I figured this out, the move for Coach K to continue his reign of terror is that Michael Savarino should be the head coach of Duke in about 20 years.
Yeah, what is the move of have you started thinking through the John Shire
got 5 years.
power rankings?
He's got 5 years.
What is the We'll cover that. I'm sure we'll talk about this.
Severino's next. He's next in line. I figured that out. But King of the Mountain, Coach K.
Coach K is getting the he's been. I mean, shoot, he was getting it last weekend. The cut in, and you're cutting into a game that has nothing to do with any of these teams. It's two Mountain West teams playing, and they cut in, and they're like, and of course on Saturday, Coach K's final.
Have you seen the programming on ESPN that day? It's literally all Coach K.
It's hilarious.
You can't even get away from it. You know what I mean? It's going to be electric.
If we read it, I honest to God, I think if we read what the ESPN programming is for Coach K's last game, and we did it like with straight face and stone face, I think half of our listeners would think we were joking.
Yeah, it was a joke.
It was a joke. It was like, they're at it again.
Yeah.
No, I'm not really sure I get the bit.
No, they're poking. They're like these guys. They've gone too far.
Yeah.
They would never do something like this. No, it's happening. It's on Saturday.
My pick for King of the Mountain is a man who just hoisted a Big Ten title trophy above his head in Madison, Wisconsin. It is Dan Big. No, I'm kidding. It is Greg Gard, head coach of the Wisconsin Badgers. And for this reason, not only is Greg Gard a Big Ten champion, Tate, but I think we have to go backwards and talk about the last I don't know 6 months, 7. It's not even like the last year. It's like the last 8 months of Greg Gard's life. We all know last week the Juwan Howard controversy, the melee in Madison. We know that was as you said, like that I think most people that were paying attention to Wisconsin knew they were having a great season, knew that like if you talked about Wisconsin basketball this season, you're talking about Johnny Davis, you're talking about the hunt for the Big Ten. But it did feel like a moment in time that like maybe the rest of America is you say Wisconsin basketball, like, oh, that's the team that Juwan Howard was,
Yeah, in a scuffle with.
We were worried that was that going to take away from what's going on, whatever. So there's that, and him winning the Big Ten, I think, is a nice way to like cleanse that out of his way. But I want to go back even further to when Alondo Tucker formed the coup against Greg Gard.
This man had a mutiny happen.
There was a mutiny
underneath his nose.
Under his nose, in large part because last season, Wisconsin enters the season a top 10 team in the preseason. I think they get all the way up to 4th in the polls in like the first or second week of the season. They have 1,000 seniors on the team, Tate. It feels like a team that should win the Big Ten. They end up getting a 9 seed. In the NCAA tournament, I don't remember do you remember what happened in the NCAA tournament with Wisconsin last year? They beat somebody.
No.
They sent somebody into early retirement.
Yeah.
But it was a disappointing season for Wisconsin, given the roster they had, and that spilled over into like a tumultuous offseason and Alondo Tucker and like there's secret recordings and
a lot
it's
of
just
news
like
reports. Yeah.
And then Brad Davison says he's coming back, and a lot of Wisconsin fans are like, I mean, love Brad, but like, is that what we need right now? It's like more of Brad. Like, I kind of want to move on to the next chapter of. Then Brad's been awesome this year, and he's kind of silenced the haters in that regard. Johnny Davis. So, you go from where Greg Gard was, and then to have tonight happen, he's got to be king of the mountain. There's nobody in college basketball who is like walking by their bathroom mirror and stopping and looking in the mirror and like giving themselves finger guns more than Greg Gard is right now.
Yeah.
He's like, you got it, man.
You got it, Greg. You're that guy.
You're
Greg.
killing it. The haters are so sick right now.
He's just yelling, I'm old Greg at himself.
Yeah. So that's why he's my king of the mountain, Tate.
I love to hear that because I feel like Greg Gard has been almost villainized. You know what I mean?
Oh, for sure.
Throughout our tenure doing a college basketball podcast together since around like 2017, we've always heard these rumblings. There's always like a random story we would hear of like, this guy doesn't necessarily get along with him. Are we sure Greg Gard's the guy? Yada, yada, yada. But like you said, all those distractions are now in the past. They're in the rearview mirror. And he got a big
because there was the changing of the guard. When Bo Ryan, I think part of it was like it felt like a little Trojan horse situation for Bo Ryan to get Greg Gard the head job in the first place, because Bo Ryan coached for like, was it 10, 15 games, and then stepped down in the middle of the season, coming off the national runner-up, the 2015 season. Then the following season, Bo coaches for like a 10, I think it was like 10 games. Then he steps down, and it's enough of a runway for Greg Gard to like prove that he should be the,
Yeah.
And I think like if you're a Wisconsin fan, you start like you have a season like last season where there's such high expectations, And
you're like,
it doesn't
this
quite
guy
pan out.
can't handle this.
So you start like reverse engineering it, and you're like, wait, why did this guy get the job in the first place? And how did this all, and you start talking yourself into. But all of that is in the past. All of it's moot.
Now he's the king of the mountain.
Now he's giving himself finger guns. And
you know what's the funniest thing? If we had a graphic of this, the picture of Coach K and Greg Gard sitting with each other as the king of the mountain, because Coach K would be so upset that is who is sitting across the
honorable king of the mountain. Kings of the mountain is the Storm Chasers, who we shouted out for going to Boulder. Caleb and Roan I saw tonight they were in Fort Worth.
They know what's going on.
TCU beats Kansas. I don't understand it. I don't understand how these guys.
Shout out to the Horned Frog. Shout out to Caleb. Shout out to Roan. I talked to Caleb yesterday via DM, and he was very appreciative. He was like, "You guys are my target audience, so I'm glad that you like it." So keep doing the Lord's work.
It's absolutely hilarious.
It is.
Every game these guys go to, they're out of the park. I don't get it. All right, so there's your king of the mountains. You want to do some big picture discussions? As we sit here, as the calendar has turned to March, and a lot of people are waiting for the NCAA tournament to start, which isn't to say that we don't have things to play for. We do. We have conference tournaments. We have bubble watch going on. But what stands out to you? With a 1 seed picture? Is that become interesting? Because
I think because of Saturday, that already threw in the question who actually is the number 1 team. And then I think last year we kind of got into this, I don't even know what you want to call it, but this expectation that there's always 1 team or 2 teams that are kind of ahead of the curve, ahead of the pack, and then there's everybody else. And this year I think it's just everybody else.
It is everybody else, but I think in the terms of the 1 seed picture, and this isn't my disclaimer, this is not my bracketology, this is me observing other bracketologies. So these are not my thoughts. I'm just trying
these are secondhand brackets.
Yes, I'm trying to condense what I'm seeing out there in the bracketology world. It does feel like Arizona and Gonzaga both, to me, feel like, I wouldn't say locks, but very close locks. They feel like the 2 favorites to get 1 seeds right now, despite them both losing on Saturday. When everyone loses, nobody loses, I guess. Because it feels like everybody still has Gonzaga as a 1, and and especially after Arizona kicked USC's ass tonight, I think that's kind of a swap out deal. Like the Colorado loss was bad, but like what they did tonight just kind of erased that.
It reaffirms what we already thought. The mountain trip.
So in my mind, it feels like, and again, this is not me saying this, I just feel, I'm reading the tea leaves here. It feels like Gonzaga and Arizona are almost certainly going to be 1 seeds.
Pac-12 update.
So then that leaves 2 1 seeds, and at that point, like, it's anyone's guess. I mean,
Auburn, Baylor, Kansas, Kentucky, Duke.
Wisconsin.
Providence.
Villanova. I think it's going to be, so if there's two 1 seeds left, let's say Gonzaga, Arizona have them in the bag for the most part, barring some sort of catastrophe in their conference tournaments, which Gonzaga can't even have a catastrophe in their conference tournament because they have a bye all the way to the semifinal.
I've never seen, like, when they had I saw the bracket for it, I was like, this is pretty genius.
I love it. I want them to take it a step further and do like a Street Fighter situation where it's like when you're the worst team, you have to beat like each team better than, you know what I mean?
It's the climb.
It's just, you just keep climbing, and then Gonzaga's the final boss. Gonzaga gets a bye all the way into the
and then they come in cold, and then it's like a David versus Goliath situation. You know what I mean? That's good.
That's genius. So I think the SEC is going to get 1. I think take your pick. It's Kentucky or Auburn. I guess I
think Auburn's going to get it.
I think it's contingent upon like what happens in the SEC tournament. But I think the SEC has been so good all year and so deep all year, I just feel like that's where we're headed with that one. Is like
I feel like Calipari's playing the long con. I think Calipari doesn't care about the SEC tournament. I think he cares about the actual tournament. You know what I mean? He is that jaded at this point where he's already over it, where he's playing like, I know what we need to do. Bruce Pearl and this Auburn team feels like Illinois last year, where they would go win the SEC tournament. They would do the Kobe poses. It would be everyone going to the tournament. It's
fire off the memes.
Everyone's like, Auburn's the hottest team going to the tournament. You got to ride these guys. And then we have some of the problems we've talked about before. You know what I mean?
That's a great point.
And
I do see a lot of similarities between the Auburn fans and Illinois fans, like the cultures of each program.
That's what I see there. So in that sense, I say Auburn's going to be a 1 seed. And then I think it's the Big 12 is the 4th one.
I think you're right. I think it was going to be Kansas. Kansas losing tonight is not good. It was going to be, before Kansas lost to TCU, it was going to be the Kansas Baylor, kind of whoever sorts that out. It's pretty obviously Baylor now.
Yeah.
But what happens if Kansas beats Baylor in the Big 12 tournament? Or Baylor loses in their first game and then Kansas wins the Big 12 tournament? Does that put Kansas back in? Does that like open the door for Duke? Does that, I don't know. Does the other SEC team, are we talking like 2 SEC teams?
I think you're right. I think it opens the door for Duke or Kentucky.
Duke or Kentucky sneak in there?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think Villanova is out. Villanova's got 7 losses. Even if they win the Big East tournament, they're right.
Mm-hmm. I think you're right.
I think they got to be out, but I don't know. You keep saying that, and that's how this season's gone. Like people just kind of everyone keeps losing, and then Villanova finds their way back.
I like the idea of 3 blue bloods and Baylor fighting for that last spot. You know what I mean? It's like the Final Four for one spot.
Yeah.
Kansas, Kentucky, Duke, Baylor.
Yeah.
And I think Baylor gets it, which is pretty shocking because in the old, guard of college basketball, there's no world in which Baylor gets the 1 seed there. It's probably
But if Baylor wins out, like Baylor's definitely 1 seed.
Definitely. I mean, yeah. I'm just saying they lost.
So right now everyone wins out. It's Gonzaga, Arizona, Auburn, Baylor, probably.
Yes.
Yeah. That's got to be what it is.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
But when you think about it, Kentucky, Duke, Kansas, the fact that those 3 teams, like all 3 of them, there could be a clean sweep that none of them are 1 seed. I don't see that happening.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you can't really convince me of that. And if Auburn and Kentucky both lose in the SEC tournament in the semifinals or whatever it may be, I think Kentucky, weirdly enough, will get the bump over Auburn. You know what I mean? As potentially a 1 seed.
How much does being a 1 seed matter?
Not that much. I mean, obviously, like some bubble guy's going to come here and be like 81% of teams that are 1 seed.
Yeah.
The second week,
but also, shut up, nerd.
Yeah. I think if you're a top 3, I think if you're 1, 2, or 3, you got a real shot.
Yeah, I don't know. The 1 seed discussion's interesting. They obviously use it for recruiting, especially a place like Auburn that doesn't get a 1 seed all the time. It's a huge deal and whatever. But I don't know.
Baylor feels like a school that might hang a banner for like this many 1 seeds in the tournament.
But as far as you got to go out and win the games. So I don't really feel like it matters that much.
Yeah,
but it is great,
especially this year. I mean,
especially
this year is like the ultimate crapshoot. I mean, I know it is every single year in the NCAA tournament, but this year is.
Well, let me ask you this. I love doing this. This is a topic I'll throw out there every so often, and it's been a while since we've done it. With all the top teams seemingly losing over the weekend, and with me personally finding myself in a pit of despair, Tate, I'm curious. How do we assess like where programs are at? Like I like to like who's happy right now? Which fan bases are happy and which are like we suck and this because like watching Kansas lose tonight. I imagine Kansas fans, you lose at Baylor, you lose at TCU. Kansas has a team that could theoretically do some damage and still win a national title, but like there's no one in Lawrence. It's like feeling great right now. Conversely, like Arizona, you lost at Colorado, but then tonight kind of helped, and I'm sure the people of Tucson are back to feeling a little bit better. Who do you think is as it stands right now of the top, 15 or so teams? Who are you pointing to that's definitively like those fans are feeling very good right now?
Arkansas
is a good
number 1 on the board.
Yeah.
With Note, with the Must Bus, with the energy that's happening. I mean, they have convinced themselves that they are the best.
Coming off an Elite 8 last year, by the way. Yeah.
I think Arkansas is the number 1 team that feels like we are in the best spot. We actually are being disrespected. Like if we talk to Arkansas fans, they would say we should be a 3 seed. We should be potentially on the 2 line. And you're like, that's egregious. But also I respect it. You know what I mean? And they're probably like a 4 or 5 range, if you looked at, any of these bracket, people.
If Arkansas wins out and wins the SEC.
Are they a 2 seed?
Are they a 2 seed?
Arkansas fans say yes. And I would.
Depends on who they beat.
Yeah, exactly. But if they do that, they have an argument. So I think that they're probably number 1, locked in. We're happy, and we believe that we can win the national title.
Yeah.
Arkansas.
Arkansas would be on my list. Duke is certainly on the list.
Duke is probably
certainly on the list.
One, if they're not 1A, they're 1B.
Yeah. Duke is on the list.
They beat Pittsburgh tonight, and you should have seen the tweets. I mean, it was like they beat the dream team. I mean, unbelievable. What an effort.
What do you want them to not be happy?
All right. Yeah.
I think Villanova and Providence both. I think Villanova sweeping Providence, and I think Villanova fans are like,
I think so.
We like our team. We like where we're at. We trust Jay.
Yeah.
We trust Colin Gillespie, Justin. Like, I think Villanova fans are fine with where they're at. Providence fans, as we've said, even though they lost tonight, they're like, we won the Big East. God is on our side. They're good.
They're destined.
Wisconsin fans obviously are happy.
Arizona fans, obviously.
I think they're back. Yeah.
Arizona fans are so back that they're actually mad about losing the game at Colorado. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, that's how invested Arizona is, and like, we can win the title this year. We believe that.
I think Baylor's feeling good too.
Yeah,
I think Baylor's got to be fun, but that's probably about it on my list. I think Auburn fans are starting to see what you and I were seeing
Auburn's
a month
out.
and a half ago.
Yeah, they get it. They
can still win. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying they're frauds or they're not going to win
the writing
title,
on the wall. There could be some.
They're starting to see some cracks in the dam, and they're like, "Uh-oh."
You know who else really likes their team? UConn.
UConn does like their team.
UConn really likes.
I think this is why I'm so excited to go to New York for one of the reasons I'm so excited that we're going to New York for the Big East tournament is that it really does feel like every Big East school loves their team for the most part.
Yeah,
that's not true. Georgetown fans are like, not the case. But when you look at like the national landscape, I still think Villanova is like the only team that has like any sort of hope or prayer at winning a national championship, and even that's not that great. But despite that, like all the Big East teams seem to love their teams and seem to like, maybe Xavier fans aren't as much anymore, but you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
There's like a lot of optimism around the Big East teams. That's why it's a fun league because they all talk themselves into like.
I mean, Jim over there. I mean, we get St. John's fan number 1.
St. John's.
You believe?
Yeah, we're gonna win it all.
Not gonna make it, but if they did,
if St. John's wins the Big East tournament and you're there for it, are you storming the court?
Yep. I was gonna storm when we were there when you guys were playing the game.
St.
Francis. Purdue fans have to be not happy, right? Purdue fans see the writing on the wall. Yeah. Kansas, UCLA. You're the UCLA guy on the show. I hit the panic.
I still believe in UCLA, but I'm worried.
All right.
I'm not panicked, but I'm worried. I'm anxious.
What is so if you're the other thing I like to do, the other exercise I like is what's best for college basketball, because we're in a position as we said, like I think this tournament's going to be bonkers. I think this is the people are going to come out of this tournament saying this is the best tournament we've seen in forever, but just because they forget that it's
what happened last week.
Yeah.
Literally.
Like last year's tournament was pretty sick, but anyway, I think the tournament's going to be awesome. But if you are if college basketball is the NBA and you're going to Adam Silver this and kind of
David Stern. I don't Silver things.
That's true. That's a better commissioner to use. If you're going to David Stern things and steer the ship in certain directions, what is best for college basketball? What happens in the NCAA tournament that you come away from and you're like, that this is sport is in an unbelievable position thanks to what just happened in the tournament.
We were talking about this earlier, and last year I was fully in on the Big Ten must win. In my mind, I was like, it's in Indianapolis. Illinois, I thought, was the best team in the country. So I was like, this is a Illinois 05 redemption. They win the title. They win it in Big Ten country, yada, yada, yada. That would have been my David Stern, we make this happen.
I don't think that's good if that happened this year, if the Big Ten won.
I'm done.
Yeah.
I'm off.
I'm the Big Ten guy on the show, and if the Big Ten won the title, that's bad for college basketball this year.
Bad. It would be bad. It would be bad this year. The best case scenario for college basketball is a West Coast championship.
Go on. I'll
just a West Coast championship. Just a team, obviously, that is west of the Mississippi. And obviously Baylor doesn't count. Get Baylor out of here. I'm talking about old school, Big West thoughts.
Does Colorado State count?
Maybe we'll talk about it.
Okay, we can.
We'll figure it out.
We'll revisit. Okay,
but I think the best case scenario,
Arizona counts.
Arizona
counts
because the best case scenario, in my opinion, for college basketball is that the mentee, the grasshopper, meets the teacher on the ultimate stage.
Okay,
and I know a lot of people at home are thinking Coach K is going to play Greg Paulus. No. Tommy Lloyd and your Arizona Wildcats are going to play Gonzaga and Mark Few, and both teams are going to be the team of destiny. Both teams are going to be the hope of the West Coast. You know what I mean? The West Coast needs a title. Since 1997, Arizona's like, that was us last time. It's going to be us again. We're coming back to make this happen. Gonzaga's like, it was supposed to be us 3 times over. We have to do this. If we don't do this, are we sure we are who we think we are? And you get those two teams. They're both playing for everything on the line. You have a lot of, chess moves that are happening behind the scenes. You have a lot of big brother, little brother. And at the end of the day, Gonzaga wins it all. And Mark Few is now the crown of
You
college
think Gonzaga winning it all?
They'll beat Arizona.
No.
For college basketball.
No. It's not what you think.
No, that's what I'm saying. I'm saying this is what I want to happen, and also what I think would happen.
Okay.
I put these two together, and then
you think Gonzaga beating Arizona would be,
and then Arizona wins next year.
Okay.
And then we create this new rivalry. It's a West Coast rivalry. There's a lot of history there. You know what I mean? They're going to be battling for international recruits. It's going to be a whole thing.
I'm with you.
It's West Coast
I'm
basketball.
with you, but I think Arizona winning's better for the sport because I think
if Gonzaga loses again
for that exact reason.
Oh my goodness!
I think having Gonzaga just continue.
You trying to Chicago Cubs Gonzaga?
Kind of. It makes like a fun little wrinkle to have Gonzaga
you're right. What is
good
baseball
enough
without once the Cubs won?
Yeah, once the Cubs and Red Sox won, we have no baseball.
Yeah,
baseball literally doesn't exist right now. Search it on Wikipedia.
Meanwhile, the Cleveland Guardians are like, we're over here, 1948. Everyone's like, yeah, 1948. LeBron won. So you see the Cavs.
I think, I think Arizona winning would be better because.
But you're in a West Coast title, right? I mean, West Coast
title might be. Yeah. West Coast title would be great
because Duke is in the conversation. Coach K winning.
This is a great discussion. Is Duke winning? If Duke won the national title, is that good for the sport? It's good for Coach K. It's good to put like a nice little bow on this era. It certainly is a seminal moment if you're telling the story of college basketball history. But as we move forward, is that good for the sport? I don't.
I think it's bad for the sport. I think it would be terrible. Honestly, you know how we joke about college basketball being dead? If Duke won the title, I would sincerely have to really reflect on my position because I think that college basketball would be dead. Truly.
So that's one.
No, all shtick aside.
So that's one in the bad column. Boy, you could convince me either way. Like, cause it's great. It's great for that moment in time. Like Kay hoisting the trophy and cutting the nets. Like that's cool. But like as we look forward, we don't need to look back.
Was Tom Brady winning a Super Bowl good for the NFL last year? Probably not.
That's a great point.
You know what I mean?
What is
to move forward.
What's great for the NFL is a great sports town like LA winning. And, I think that's a great point. That's a great point. LA winning and just rallying this city. Just the juice that this city has.
The parade was tough. We should have gone to the parade. I'm a Charger season ticket holder, and I feel like I should have gone to the parade.
Coach K winning would probably be good, but I don't know because then
second.
Because then his aura will like hover over, then we'd start next season. We'd be like, remember last season when it was Coach K's last season, and he, and then like Jim Boeheim will announce his retirement, and everyone will say like, is Boeheim going to go out the same way Coach K, and then it's like this, we don't want all that. You're right. That would be bad. We don't need that.
The worst thing is that if Coach K won that title, the speech after that and the Jim Nance conversation, I mean, it would be so long.
You know what the worst possible scenario for college basketball is? For college sports as a whole is
Will Wade.
You have to go. Yeah, you're not wrong. It's big brain. If someone other than Kentucky from the SEC wins the national championship, that is like I'm talking like the forecast of where college sports is heading.
Yeah.
That the SEC has like they already got Florida's back-to-back titles. Kentucky's a wagon, as we know, every year for the most part. If you start throwing in like an Auburn national title, or Arkansas wins one, or Tennessee somehow figures out their offensive problems and they go and win 6 straight, that is bad for like the whole. The SEC is becoming a super conference as is. Tate, they dominate football already. You start getting the SEC dominating basketball.
Don't convince them that they dominate basketball.
That's a bad scene.
Yeah.
That's a bad scene. We need to make sure that doesn't happen. How do we do that?
I think worst case scenario as far as that is Auburn.
Yeah.
And it's not. It has nothing to do with the team. Like I think it would be really cool if Jabari and Kessler, that front court won. You know what I mean? I think that would be obviously the best front court in the country. Proved it by winning the title. But like you said, The ripple effects. What Greg Sankey would see that day would be like the cash cow.
I'm not even talking about.
He's like, I'm not playing with these guys anymore. We're seceding. Remember SEC, EDE. They're getting out of the NCAA, and
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
That's like
you're right. That would actually be the end of college basketball. I thought it would be Coach K, but it might be an SEC title outside of Kentucky.
Yeah, that'd be devastating for. We'd have a real problem.
Take a deep breath,
forward.
folks, because it could happen.
What else? What else is there? Do you want to bubble watch? You feel good about Carolina?
They're in. Lenardi took them off the bubble.
Okay.
They're in.
That's all you need.
9 seed.
What's the course you have them in?
I don't know. Probably first 4 out. if I had to guess. If Carolina wins on Saturday, they can't get a share of the ACC. But going into today, if Duke had lost at Pittsburgh and they won on Saturday, they could have got a share of the ACC. You know what I mean? So a team that potentially could have theoretically
Jesus, dude.
won the ACC was on the bubble just a week ago. And some of the same people, some of the same bubble boys that were saying last week, Carolina lock, I'll put it on my grandpa's, like saying all this crazy stuff. And then a week later, they're all acting as if they did not say that. And I have the receipts, Titus. And if North Carolina beats Duke on Saturday, I'm coming with them.
What's the spread?
With all of them.
What's the spread for the Duke Carolina?
39.5. It's not going to be good. Carolina's not going to win that game. But if they do, I'm coming with the receipt.
Okay, cool. I appreciate that Ohio State is
also
understands. No, I think the Buckeyes. Here's what's happening. I think they understand that from a content perspective, the greatest thing that could happen for our show is Carolina and Ohio State meet in the first round.
5-12.
So as Carolina keeps winning and climbing up, Ohio State has to counter it and lose. Because like if Carolina
7-10, you're saying 7-10,
7-10, or it was like I think we're at 6-11 right now.
Yeah, I think we're 6-11.
Give it another week and we're gonna be at 7-10, and then who the hell knows?
7-10, honestly, with you and I watching the game together, because I do like Chris Holtman and I do like a lot of the players on Ohio State. There's a chance, there were multiple games this year where, like, the way that Carolina played, I started pulling against them because I respect the game that much.
Yeah,
there's a chance I could be watching that game and Carolina is just like not trying.
If Ohio State slips to a 7 seed, yeah. I would probably like be so disgusted I'd start cheering for Carolina.
We're both cheering for our other team. Yeah, that'd be good.
Is that it? What else? You want to do shout-outs?
Oh, man. I really think that I can't believe this is our last Tuesday. I want to shout us out.
Yeah.
Also. I mean, I don't know how many weeks we've done this. We've done this, 7 weeks, 6 weeks? Tuesday.
We're the hardest working men in show business. That's what they say about us.
And then next week, we're going to be in New York for the Big East tournament.
We are.
So shout out to us. I mean, we will not be here, but we will be.
Jim, are you going to New York? Did you get that confirmed? Are you
yeah,
you sneaking into the cargo hold?
Jim is famously from Westchester, so he's going back home.
In all seriousness, Big East tournament, was this something that mattered to you growing up? Did you go to it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
we used to go to it.
Yeah.
Watch Iverson, Felipe, Kerry Kittles. Right.
Oh, I love Kerry Kittles.
Yeah.
What kind of vibe? This is the first Big East tournament. That'll be, this is a taste of the NCAA tournament because first one in 3 years that's been a fully played with all the fans there and everything.
Yeah.
What kind of vibe is it? Because I watching on TV, I feel like the fans just want to fight each other. Like
you know that feeling you had when you were in the Uber going out to St. John's? It's gonna be like that for 4 straight days, baby.
I hope that we're staying in Queens, even though
we stay by St. John's
campus. That's what I'm hoping for.
Long Island, Montauk.
They would really get the show if they did that to us.
We're doing. We'll remind everybody before the weekend's up because we got another show we got to do here in LA on Friday. But we're doing. We're gonna be doing like post game shows every night for the Big East tournament, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
From MSG, by the way.
From like half court.
Yep. Center court.
Do you think we're gonna be able to shoot on it on the court? Like if I could just shoot one time, if I could just get the ball,
you get one shot at Eminem voice. You only get one shot. At MSG, what are you doing? The security guards are like, you can only get one shot up. What are you going for a 3? Are you going for a layup just to say you made it?
I'm shooting a 3. I'm just trying to figure out what 3 I'm taking.
You shoot a half quarter?
No, I'm taking a 3, but I would probably like get on my phone real quick, like try to look up a Jordan moment. You know what I mean? And I'm just like, I got to recreate the shot. Whether it be like a turnaround or something like that.
And then Jordan does something disgusting. You're like, okay, I can't do that one. And then you figure out, you find one where Jordan made a free throw, and you're like, I'll do that one.
Well, that was easy. Perfect. Yeah, free throw or 3, maybe you finish it up with a layup, you cheat one in, but I just got to get one shot.
Yeah.
Give me one shot.
Last time I was in the Garden, I talked to Bob Knight for he was calling one of our games we were playing.
Yeah.
And I talked to him for 2 minutes, and it was very nerve-wracking. That's not a great story, but that's my story. I talked to Bob Knight.
Yeah.
I said, Coach, I'm from Indiana, and he was like, why the hell didn't you play for the Hoosiers? I was like, because you're not there. And he's like, you're goddamn right.
It's a good answer. What's your name again?
I like you, kid. Yeah. Come here. Oh, man. All right. I want to shout out to seniors. I was thinking about that. It's senior. It's a lot of senior nights going on, a lot of senior festivities. And I want to shout out to seniors, especially who are going to double dip. And you know who you are. You guys know who you are. The seniors that are going to raise their jerseys up, Tate.
Mm-hmm.
Kiss the floor and wave at everybody, and they know damn well they're coming back next year.
Leaky black.
Yeah. So I want to shout out all you guys, because do we even have seniors anymore? Is there any concept of seniors?
No.
It really is like a free. It feels like the seniors now are it's a free agency situation where they're on the last year of a contract, and the team may or may not sign them for another 1-year deal.
Yeah.
So you don't really know.
Or it's
it's very weird having I saw Indiana put out an announcement that they're going to have a couple guys do senior year festivities, but they don't know if they're coming back or not. And you're like, what?
How about guys that have had multiple festivities? Yeah, like Kellen Grady.
How many times has Jordan Bohannon done it?
Oh, at least 3 times. He did it in 2020. No,
if he gave the same speech every year.
I mean, or if you're Kellen Grady, you're like, do I use my old speech? You know what I mean? Do I just recycle this? I already did this once. I kind of know the beats to hit.
I think the NBA should adopt senior days, and that should be how you announce trades to players. But in the pregame, you tap a guy on the shoulder and you hand him a microphone, and he's like, "What's this?" And you're like, "You're being traded. Give a speech to the crowd and say goodbye."
Final speech.
He's like, final speech. Go ahead. He's like, it was great playing with y'all for 17 games.
Yeah. The owner has a wrap it up box. Wrap it
up. What else? Speaking of the NBA, by the way, I want to shout out to our hometown Los Angeles Lakers, killing it. They're absolutely killing it, right?
The hopes of a title. They're killing it.
I have not followed the NBA closely, but I see that everyone's talking about the Lakers. So I assume it's going well, right?
Not going great. Getting booed at home, arguing back with the fans that are booing them. Which
should we pivot the Boo Brothers away from Coach K to LeBron?
I will say,
just go to every Lakers game.
I mean, it's tough to get booed. You know what I mean? I've been booed. I mean, when you get booed, it really gets you. You know what I mean? And it's hard to wash it off, brush it off. Yeah. The Lakers did not do a good job of brushing it off. They were like, we're gonna attack back.
Have you been booed?
Yeah, I mean, of course.
But booed by someone that's supposed to love you. I mean, because everyone gets booed.
I mean, I got booed by home fans.
Yeah. Oof.
Soccer. In high school, got booed by my home fans.
Ooh,
soccer.
Yeah, I was
captain my soccer team. Jim.
I'm a middle child, so I was booed around the house all the time.
I'm the youngest. That
was part of growing up.
Yeah, of course. I mean, that's why you have to have tough skin, and then you have to learn to laugh at everything.
I would literally just wake up and walk down to the kitchen and pour a bowl of cereal. My mom and dad would boo me.
Yes.
I'm 7. What else? Shout out to Chicago State. Beat New Mexico State. New Mexico State is supposed to win the WAC. I don't know if they have or not, but New Mexico State is actually a decent team. This is the biggest win in Chicago State basketball history. I'm confident of it. I'm a historian of Chicago State
after doing the research when you were trying to get the job, I am confident that's the biggest.
So might have been the biggest upset of the season too in college basketball. It's a huge win. I feel like people have reached out to me about how do you feel, because Chicago State's having a halfway decent season. I think they won 7 or 8 games, which is astronomical for them. How do you feel, Titus? You after your experience at Chicago State, as the head coach for a couple months, are you bitter about this? Not bitter, Tate. I want to go on record that I feel like I laid the foundation. I felt like I built a culture. That's what I was hired to do when I went there. Is I built a culture for a few months. I passed it on to the next guy, and you build on top of that. And
who is the coach right now?
No idea.
I was trying to figure out. I'm like, who even is the coach?
Probably Kanye. Probably.
No, it's the same coach of Donda.
The Donda coach.
Yes.
Is coaching.
Donda's mom, or Donda, literally Donda, Kanye's mom, was a professor at Chicago State.
There you go.
Yeah. So it all comes full. So it goes all the way to the top. Chicago State.
Speaking of Donda, are we really going to this game tomorrow?
Hell yeah.
Yeah, we tease that on Saturday. We have tickets to the Donda homecoming game tomorrow night at California
Who do they play?
State.
Do we know? Doesn't matter.
No, we have no idea who they play.
What if they're playing Bronny? They're not playing him.
No way.
That would be a tough.
I don't think it said
what tickets more, the UNC Duke or Bronny versus Donda
Ooh.
in LA?
Ooh.
Bronny.
Honestly, I mean, $500 just to go to the Donda game.
It didn't say who they were playing on the tickets, but it does say we have to wear all black. But it doesn't know who we're playing.
Does it? What's the wording that says you have to wear all black? Is it like all black is encouraged?
Everyone must wear all
black or
it
die.
literally says that everyone must wear all black.
This is a P. Diddy vote or die situation.
Yeah, I think it is.
Yeah, wear all black or your family's going to be wearing all black for you.
That's what it says on the ticket.
Mhm.
Nice.
Jesus, is Donda on the bubble? Is Donda Academy? Is it?
I think they were fencing, but they said what I said. I'd rather be in or out. Just tell me.
Is Syracuse in now that UNC is, since they're like this?
That is true. If UNC's in, Syracuse has to be for how well they played.
Syracuse is going to win the ACC tournament and get in the tournament.
Yeah.
6 teams are getting in from the ACC, by the way.
You're doing the 6.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. That's what I'm going to do the bubble. When 6 ACC teams get in, I'm going to do this to all the bubble boys. Oh, man.
Is that it? Jim, you have anything?
Yeah, I looked up the prices for the Coach K game.
Yeah.
Did you look them up, Titus? I know, Tate, you said you saw them, but I have found some interesting numbers.
What?
What do you think the lowest is going for?
The get-in price. I would guess. Now it only holds like what?
Like StubHub,
9,000 people, right? That's about all it holds. So,
and that's a lie. I mean, it's less than that. It's very small.
I would say about 1,000.
The lowest price ticket on StubHub is $2,900.
Yeah,
$2,900.
And it was $2,300 earlier, so it's already going up.
Yeah, and now the highest price ticket. Would you guys like to guess what I found on SeatGeek?
I don't know this.
25,000.
No, it's more than that. It's more than that.
SeatGeek, it's $14,332.
My
A
God.
steal. Can't afford not to go.
Yeah.
And on StubHub, the ticket for Coach K's final win over North Carolina, $75,000.
Dude.
And it's an upper section. Like
I actually know who put that up for sale. That was Josh McRoberts. Josh McRoberts reached out and got his former player free ticket, and then he just flipped that bitch and put it on StubHub right away.
Do you think JJ goes to the game? Because I will say this: if JJ Redick's in the building, Duke's losing.
What former player are we seeing the most?
If JJ's there,
Leitner's
It's gonna be JJ.
Leitner's not on good terms. No.
Johnny Dawkins.
No, not on good
Can't
terms.
be. He won't be. Yeah, he won't be there.
GP's
Mojo?
not on good terms.
What if Zion's there?
Zion's not on good terms. He's let everybody down.
Yeah.
Tatum
could be there. I'm trying to think about like who is there for K for the photo op. You know, who does he want to be there?
Kyrie.
No, Kyrie got
can't-
cut.
Yeah,
Will?
Kyrie's cut. Yeah.
It would have been Kyrie. That's why I think it's Tatum now. But then I'm like, Tatum probably has a game or something.
Okay, how about this? When K takes the picture,
I hope it's Lee Melky.
when K takes the picture, they go through all the pregame festivities. I'm sure all the former players come out on the floor. Who's standing next to K?
Not Amaker.
Battier.
Oh yeah. Boozer.
Leitner.
Boozer's there.
Yeah.
Boozer's ACC network.
So many legends.
Let's get the hell out of here. We can talk about this on.
Yeah. Which North Carolina players carry K off the court on their shoulders out of
Caleb Love. Caleb Love.
Yeah.
Caleb Love.
Who wanted to play at
Yeah.
Duke.
He was like, Coach, please, one more year.
Coach,
Caleb Love is running by saying one more year to Coach. I'll transfer to
all right, that's the show. Congratulations, Wisconsin. Congratulations, Arizona, clinching conference titles. The scene in Madison was awesome. The whiteout and the whole deal up there was cool. And
Greg Gard,
King of the Mountain. There you go. We'll see you guys Friday. Goodbye, everybody.